Another overly broad and misguided British law has reared its ugly head in the digital age to stifle free speech. Dorset Police invoked the 1988 Malicious Communications Act yesterday morning to arrest a 17-year-old who sent a string of insensitive tweets to Olympic diver Tom Daley after he failed to win a medal on Monday. Police released the unnamed teen on bail and issued him a harassment warning. But the resurfacing of the 1988 Act and its continued existence has proved unnerving for free speech advocates. Some of the teen's tweets in question read, "You let your dad down, I hope you know that," and "I'm going to find you and I'm going to drown you in the pool." Given that Daley's father died last year from brain cancer, these tweets were certainly tasteless. But did they pose a genuine threat to the young athlete's life? No. YouTube comments have demonstrated time and again that vitriol flows freely behind the shroud of assumed online anonymity. Malicious or not, any communication that merely intends to offend should not be grounds for prosecution. The 1988 Act punishes, with up to 6 months in prison, any person who sends an indecent, grossly offensive, threatening or false message with the intent of causing stress or anxiety. Under this law, a slightly edgy April Fool's joke could be construed as malicious communication. Nowhere is humour or ignorance listed as grounds for defence under the Act. Several weeks ago, free speech debate director Timothy Garton-Ash outlined the absurdities inherent in an overly broad Section 5 of the 1986 Public Order Act. This 1988 Act, which has proven dangerously vague and open to misinterpretation, should be subject to similar review. Meant to protect individuals from harm, it has now been invoked to stifle unpleasant speech. End quote. So yeah, this kid being arrested a few weeks ago is just one of many examples of suppression of free speech that we've seen in this country over the years. The state does not protect offensive, unsavoury, tasteless speech as it should. We don't have free speech in Britain as we should. I can remember hearing about this Liam Stacey lad earlier this year who got sentenced to 56 days in prison, I think, for posting some racist comments on Twitter. It's just ridiculous. If someone wants to be an idiot and wants to make stupid, ignorant comments, they should be allowed to do so. You can't just go around arresting people for being bigots. I don't like the idea that I can be sent to prison for 6 months for sending someone an indecent or grossly offensive message. If someone comes at me using what I would construe to be indecent or grossly offensive words, you know what? I might not like what I'm hearing, but I say free speech demands that a person be allowed to speak their mind. And I think I should have the right to be indecent and offensive, should the mood take me. Another thing. What one person deems to be indecent or offensive, or even threatening language, another person wouldn't. It is true to say that this 1988 Act is dangerously vague and open to misinterpretation. And what about libel laws in this part of the world? In many people's eyes, London has turned into the libel tourism capital of the world. As one person put it, wealthy foreign claimants have turned London into the Mecca of libel tourism. So are English laws stifling free speech on the world stage? The United Nations warned against this several years ago. The UN, to its credit, pointed out that wealthy people, business people and celebrities, were increasingly turning to our courts to silence their critics abroad. Libel laws have a chilling effect on free speech. It's very easy for rich people to sue their critics under claimant-friendly defamation laws. It's easy to see how libel laws could be used to victimize or silence human rights groups, or journalists, or even scientists. Individuals or companies need only bring costly and unjust legal cases against them. You know, in practice, of course, absolute free speech doesn't exist anywhere. Limitations in law, talking about copyright laws, incitement laws, libel laws, etc., are everywhere. But some countries are freer than others. And in some countries you have to watch what you say, publicly or privately, or else. I feel like we used to have a reputation in this part of the world as defenders of free speech and free expression, but we've lost our reputation over the years, over the decades. We've capitulated, I would say, to external pressures and to internal ones. We've brought in and developed dangerous laws, anti-free speech laws. We're going in the wrong direction at present, and we need to change course. But I don't know how we can do this exactly. I don't know how we can change course. Perhaps we need a well-organised civil disobedience campaign or something like that. Anyway, see you next video, folks. Peace.